Marvel Studios' long-fought legal battle to get us to Spider-Man No Way Home and to keep Spider-Man in the MCU was very public, and that battle between Disney and Sony was certainly interesting to watch as both sides threw shades at each other on Twitter. Well, it sounds like we don't have to worry about that ever happening again, or even Spidey leaving the MCU. So this piece of news comes at us from Empire, where in the latest issue, Kevin Feige is asked to reflect a little bit on the whole Spider-Man problem, the licensing, the issues, the copyrights, everything that happened with Spider-Man in regards to what led to him leaving the MCU for like 5 months, and then being considered for that Venom Let There Be Carnage in development at the time film, and what else was going on, and of course, what was falling into place. And Feige talked a little bit about how emotionally draining that was pretty much for everybody involved, because from both sides, you were losing a giant piece of the puzzle. Again, Marvel Studios keeps everything, the entire cast, the history, the footage, the costume, and everything related to Tom Holland, all the storyline moments. Sony gets Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but they have to change everything and never address anything that happens. So yeah, a pretty bad deal on both ends, if you will. Well, Feige talked a little bit about that and what the future holds and if it could happen again, and he said no. Thankfully, it came back together. They right now are working together. They figured out a plan moving forward. They know what the fans want to see, and he said that he does not anticipate them going through this ever again. That things are set in stone now, there's things happening, and that from here on out, Spider-Man is where he is. He's home. Now, of course, make of this what you will, but I think the ending of Venom Let There Be Carnage confirms to us exactly what we thought was going to be happening and what we all assumed was going to happen, which was like, well, they're just going to drop Venom into the MCU, right? Like warp him in or do something. Quite clearly, the multiverse thing. We can see Morbius was already sort of being positioned as a MCU film, so that's just a part of it, and everything coming down the road. As long as Marvel Studios agrees, yeah, you can play in the MCU playground, they keep Spider-Man. And it sounds like Feige is dead set on doing exactly that. Which honestly I think is the best for fans. They really seem to be trying to give fans everything that they want and ask for. Fine, you wanted Venom? We'll give you Venom and Spider-Man. You don't have to have it in the bootleg universe, which, no disrespect to everything they're doing with Venom over there, but that universe clearly didn't have a Spider-Man. Just dropping him in there doesn't make sense, especially if you can't connect to or use any of his relationships or even mention them. Dropping Venom into the MCU actually works a lot better, even thematically, because if you guys remember, the original black suit came, well, through Secret War. So, it was a retcon with the whole Venom thing and everything that came after, and then they've actually retcons multiple times on that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it has connective tissue to off-world things that you can kind of bring in here and play around with the multiverse, which was already a factor. So, overall, it seems like Spidey is guaranteed to stay in the MCU for the foreseeable future, and I'm assuming as long as Sony keeps saying, hey, we want this in the MCU, and Feige and Disney keep going, sure, just don't do this. You literally can't blow up half of whatever because of Kraven. They'll probably get off good.